What really makes Gavin Healy a WA artist to watch out for in 2022 is his comment, "Once I stopped recording," says the amazing voice of the person who did the pre-recording. Indeed, it was Andrea Thompson, forgive me. And once I stopped recording, that he's thinking about putting on a showcase of his work. Now, that would be something worth witnessing from a man whose life has always been with music. "I grew up in a house filled with music," Gav said, while reflecting on what he had brought him to the point where he was preparing to release 3, which is his brand new EP. "My first words weren't Mom or Dad, they were choo choo choo, you know, the Paul McCartney song." Is that correct, Gavin Healy? And welcome, sir.
It sure is correct, Frank. Good morning, and thanks for having me on the show again. And good morning, Jerry, too.
Good morning to you, Gavin. You're so welcome.
Gavin,
you're both keeping well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gavin, look, as a member of the Healys, Gav Healy, you're well known, and I remember when I was asked to do, and I'm not digging into boasting here, but when I was asked to do the IHA concert the first time around, if you will recall, I met up with the three of you first thing in JB O'Reilly's for a little dram or two to knot out what we could do for the gig. Do you remember that?
I remember it very well, Frank. It was a really nice meeting, yeah.
Look, so to 2020, Gav, you can open up as much as you wish on this album of 3 songs, all in good time. You're kind of, you took a bunch of songs that were on the shelf for 15 years, polishing them, and yet you're paring them back so that you're not assigning a genre to it. You just call it bloody...
It's actually, there's 2 different things going on there. So in 2020, I actually did do an album, which was all in good time, and that was during lockdown.
Yes.
Was a great time to, I had all that time to actually go back and look back at all my material and finally put something out, which I did. And that was a great relief because they've been just sitting on the shelf for so long. But towards the end of last year, 2021, I decided to put together these 3 songs, which is called, the actual release is called 3, and I guess, or Tree, and I guess you could call it an EP. The beginning of the end of 2020 into 2021 was quite a strange time for me. I was getting bursitis in my shoulder, and it was really difficult to play, and while I was doing shows during the year, it was getting worse and worse, and I was struggling to hold down chords and perform. And not only that, I started going blind in my left eye. The diagnosis is called central retinopathy.
Yes, so I hear. Yeah.
Something like that. Anyway, and so I ended up. I couldn't play. The doctors had told me, you need to stop doing what you're doing because I needed to have sleep so I could recover from the eye injury. But I couldn't sleep because of the shoulder as well, because of the bursitis. So I was in this vicious loop of not being able to look after myself properly. So and I became quite scared that I might actually stop playing music altogether.
Gavin, the stress attached to that for your forthcoming life with your family and so on must have been really awful.
It was. So the doctors told me I needed to stop what I was doing, so I had to stop work. I had to stop playing for a couple of months, which I was very fortunate to have some good mates, the likes of Johnny Reid kicked in with my brother Alan. So he kind of helped out the Healys there, and also a good friend of ours, Alex Kenyon. He regularly plays at JB O'Reilly's as well. He helped out too. So I was very fortunate to have good friends to step in for me and look after the gigs, which was fantastic. But during that time, I did a lot of rehab. So I went to physio, got acupuncture, did a lot of meditation, and a lot of things to try and recover. Unfortunately, my eye has recovered nearly 100%. But they told me if I didn't actually get onto it, that I could go permanently blind. So, which was quite scary. But I needed that time off because I was also, apart from physically not being able to play, I was pretty burnt out by everything that had been going on throughout the year as well. So
I know there's the whole big story about your dad, which I want to hold off for a moment. Could you
no problem.
kindly introduce the first track, which for you and me, of the three, Gavin Healy?
Okay, yeah. So For You, For Me was a song that it pretty much came to me complete. Like, I sat down with the guitar. This is when I started feeling good, able to play the guitar again, and that's how these songs came about, was being able to actually sit down and play the guitar again. And the words and the music came out into one go, and I was fortunate that I pressed record on my phone just to capture it. And I pretty much captured the whole song in the one go. And looking back, I think the song's actually about, questioning and contemplating my life and all of us as human beings. But I think what came out more so was that even though, us as humans, we have needs and wants and desires, I think what's more important is helping others and to come from a place of compassion. So I think that's pretty much, well, for me anyway, that's where the song came from.
What a huge place, Gavin. Let's go to the track.
Another day goes by, you wonder why is more to life. And when you're feeling down, you look around, and this is what I want. I want. Is this what I want? We are commercialized and branded by the clothes we wear. It's not our fault, it's just a scenario we are all living in. Living. We are all living in. Living. And if you saw someone, they were suffering, would you lend a hand to help them? With this life we can help each other and make this world a better place for you and me. For you and me, this world a better place. For you and me, this world a better place. For you, for me. 'Cause when you care and put yourself aside, it's love, it's love, it's love. It's love, love. It's love, it's love, it's love. Love, love, love. It's love, it's love, it's love.
Now, Gav, without being preemptive, the Sloan Gafoil is an ode to your dad, your dear dad, who went through a desperately heavy year in the culmination of a lot of things happening down through the years, coming to a head, I'm afraid. Do you want to explain and outline that?
Yeah, for sure. So, Dad had been he hadn't been diagnosed properly for pretty much his whole life. And we found out recently that he's been diagnosed with a mental condition, schizoid personality disorder, which is terrible to find out. And it's kind of bittersweet at the same time, because we spent a long time trying to get him the proper help that he needed. And at the same time as finding out that he had that condition, we also found out that he's terminal with lung cancer. And they told us he only had 4 to 6 months left. So Dad now is actually mentally so much better. He's actually really, mentally he's so good, and it's the best that we could have ever wished for. Because the last couple of years he's been lying on his couch, not getting off the couch, and not turning the TV on, not doing anything, just not living. And so it's been really sad. But this song, Long Got Foil, which I believe you're going to play, that came about where there were things that, you know, I wanted to get off my chest. I wanted to say to Dad, but sometimes I find it difficult or hard to express myself. So I really wanted him to hear what I wanted to say. So the song kind of came about as a tune in my head first, and then the words finally came. And then I went in and I saw Dad, and I gave him the headphones. I said, "Here, have a listen to this. Let me know what you think." And he listened to the song. And he told me it was beautiful and that he loved it. So I was very glad that he's been able to hear it. And he also said to me, actually, after that, he listened to the final song on the release called "What We Are," and he said to me at the end of that one, he goes, "You need to add strings to that song," which I ended up doing.
But
yeah,
Gav, to be fair to him, sorry for cutting across you, Gavin.
Oh, good.
My special guest is Gav Healy this morning of the Healy Brothers. Gavin, I mean, he was the inspiration behind, as we know them, the Healys, was he not?
Oh, of course. Yeah, he was the Healys originally. So Dad was a full-time musician back in our hometown of Drogheda, and he had a band called Quartz with his good mate Pascal O'Connor, and Nigel actually played with him back in Ireland too. I did my first performance in a pub called Brannigan's before we came to Australia, and that was my first, you know, performance with the Healys kind of thing. So yeah, Dad is the original. And the best, probably.
and how is he now, Gavin, in terms of...
So to be honest, he's physically not very well. And we got told that he'd have about 4 to 6 months, and that was, about that time now. So he's very tired. He's in a bit of pain, but they're really looking after him very well. But the thing is that we can go in and we can have great conversations now. When he's awake, and it's so nice to have him back because we haven't had him back for a very, very long time. So it's really nice the moments that we are getting with him.
Well, let's go to Sloan Gafoyle.
There's a song in my heart and it's singing of the stories of old when we were young. It's a place where you'll always be remembered, for the song will carry on and on. Don't look back with remorse and resentment. See the moments of joy and peace, for you'll always be loved and cherished. Let your hearts open up and forgive. There's a boat and it's yours to journey. You will sail to a sacred land. We will celebrate your new adventure. Slán go foil. Slán go.
Wow, listener, if that didn't move you. Oh, it's amazing the private lives that go on with all our healths behind the scenes. Sometimes we're allowed to talk about them, sometimes it's better not. I know of another muso who went through a really serious illness last year mentally, and he is well now, thanks be to goodness. My special guest this morning is Gav Healy, a long-time friend. Gavin, it didn't end there with your lovely wife, Rebecca, mother of your children and your darling wife for so many years.
Yeah, so during the year, my wife had she had a sore throat, so she had thyroiditis at first, and then while she was getting checked out, they noticed that she had throat cancer. So, but fortunately, there's 4 different types of throat cancer you can have, and she got the least worst one. So, and that's of the worst case scenario. So they managed to find it. It was quite small. It hadn't spread, and they managed to remove it. And she's recovered really, really well. So there was a lot of stress going on last year. But last year wasn't all completely bad. There was some fantastic news. My mother-in-law, she got a heart transplant. She was waiting.
I know, that's Rebecca's mum. Yeah.
Which is amazing because she'd been waiting a while, and we were so fortunate. But at the same time, somebody passes away, which is really sad too. So we really respect and honour that family too. But but also another good thing that happened last year. I'm trying to look at the positives of the year too. That my sister got married as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was.
Is this
really
here? Here, of course, it's here.
Yeah, it's here. Yeah, so up in Darlington, she got married. Beautiful. It was a beautiful day. But yeah, it was a very, very heavy year.
If it's summing up the year, it's been fantastic news and really harsh news.
Yes, yeah.
Well, look, thank you for letting your inner voice speak through us in music. But more important, more important is you having the courage and the integrity to speak to the listener out there who will always feel a little bit better in hearing how another soul travels, and one who's in the public domain for many a long year. Steer me towards what we are, Gav, and we'll say farewell in advance of that, if we may.
No worries. What we are, I think, I had an interview with Andrea from Miranda Sound, and I think she summed it up pretty well. She was saying something like contemplating our place in the great comedy of the universe, and I think that actually sums it up quite well. It's the lyrics are in the chorus. It's not what you've done or haven't done. It's what you're doing now, and I think in the scheme of things, we're all just cosmic dust. So contemplating.
Absolutely, and you can congratulate Andrea Thompson. We'd love to have her on air. That is a beautiful piece of journalism. She got you talking and thinking aloud for the pauses, knew what the pauses meant, and you can feel the difficulty you overcame in the silences, and the thinking and the thread of the conversation is all there. Gavin, farewell. Turara achara yil. Give my regards to Nigel and to your other brother, Alan, of course. Yeah. And I know they're going off in different directions right now. But look...
Unfortunately, we've actually got a gig together, the three of us, this Sunday.
Fantastic. Where?
I know. Rockingham Foreshore. So
wow.
It's going to be a free event at the, I think it's called Sundowner event, I'm not sure. But it's at the Rockingham Foreshore, and I think it's around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. So it'll be a beautiful Sunday.
Oh, my God.
Free event. So that'll be nice. It's good to get together with the two brothers, especially this time.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we can't be there. Just steer me in, and we're going to it. What we are. What we are is very apt, Gavin Healy. It's lovely catching up to you live on Radio Fremantle 107.9 FM with yours truly, Frank Murphy. Gav, Turara Slán go fóill, and our love to Rebecca and your family.
Appreciate it. Slán at agus go maisgat.
Slán.
We do not own the land. Land is of the earth, and so are we. We do not own the sky. The sky is of the light, and we are too. It's not what you've done or haven't done. It's what you do now. It's not what you've done or haven't done, it's what you be now. We do not own the land is of the earth, and so are we. We do not own the sky is of the light, and we are too. It's not what you've done or haven't done, it's what you do now. It's not what you've done or haven't done, it's what you be now.
I've been really blown away by that wonderful conversation with Gavin Healy. I hope you, listener, have been equally so. Now I want to wind back the time machine, and Thelma Ramsey and the boys and girls and their mums.